When you are in question mode about them, about what their needs are, about what their vision, their goals are, you can talk to them about what pains or discomforts they're feeling, but you want to meet them at the emotional, right? At the emotional part of their being. Neuromarketing, neuro-sales. It is the area that companies are spending billions of dollars understanding. Why? Why do you say no? So it's too expensive. Somebody says it's too expensive. Fear. You say no to learn. Why do you say no? You don't want it. That's a valid point, right? You really don't know about it. All right, all my Facebook and YouTube friends, why do you say no to an offer, a product or service? Right? So why do you say no? Let's start with why you say no. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. Have you ever found the time or money for something that you really want? If you didn't have time before, but if you also didn't have the time, but it was so compelling that you had to say yes? Why do you say no? Do you ever say no because somebody's being too pushy? So I want you to think about the processes that are happening in your brain and in the brain of your prospects. And just so I know, what kind of business do you have? Many of you know my business, Neurogym. We help people strengthen their mindset and build up their skill set so they achieve their goals faster. But when we're talking about business growth, getting more people to say yes, right? Do you think that there is a process that you can get more people to say yes? Now, I get it that people are going to say no. I understand that. But is there a process to say yes? So why do people say no? Have you ever found that let's say somebody's trying to offer you a product or a service, but because they're too pushy, you just move away from them? Is it possible that when people are too pushy, it puts up our spidey senses, right? Our intuition, but also something within us that says they're only interested in selling me something for their gain instead of mine? Now, let me prove a point to you. Do you love to buy things? Do you love to buy things? Do you love to buy? I think almost every human being loves to buy things, right? Now, here's the other question, right? Do you love being sold? Do you love being sold? Right? So do you love being sold? So all of us love to buy, and none of us love to be sold, right? Now, if you're watching a professional salesperson and you are studying how he or she sells because you're looking for structure, then we love to see the sales process, right? So let me share something with you that will help you from a neuromarketing and neuro-sales perspective, okay? Number one, when you understand what is the human brain's responsibility, right? It's an organism, right? Billions of years of evolution, hundreds of millions of years of human evolution. But think about this. We have, obviously, our physical senses, hear, see, smell, taste, touch. Got that. But we also have other internal senses that as the light of somebody's reflection comes in through your eyes, as they are speaking, and your brain is processing the information that they're saying, or maybe even the information that you're reading on their website or their offer or their social media, your brain is processing it against a couple of things first. Number one, can this person, will this thing or this person cause me any potential pain or discomfort? So when somebody senses that buying your product or service might cause them pain or discomfort, either spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, or financially, if there's anything that they sense might cause them pain or discomfort, or that they made the wrong decision because they were sold, they will move away from making a buying decision instead of moving towards. Why? Well, we are biologically wired to move away from pain or discomfort, whether it's real or imagined, before we move towards what we want. Now, all of this is happening at a subconscious level, not at a conscious level. Our subconscious mind is processing information that's coming in from either what we're reading or hearing or watching, and it's processing this information at the rate of 400 billion bits of information per second, and it's making decisions for us without us having to use any conscious capital to make that decision. So if we ever feel like we are being sold, we tend to move away and we put up our defenses first. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So if you want more sales in your business, if we want more sales, do you know what the number one thing that you have to do is? What's the number one thing that you have to do if you want to lower the fear or anxiety or stress or uncertainty or doubt center in somebody's brain? What is the one thing you have to do first if you want to make more sales? Earn trust first. And so the number one way to earn trust, to build trust and rapport first. When you are in question mode, about them, about what their needs are, about what their vision, their goals are, you can talk to them about what pains or discomforts they're feeling, but you want to meet them at the emotional, right? At the emotional part of their being. And of course, the emotions are not like here in my heart. It's happening in their brain. So when people feel that you actually respect them, you like them, you are interested in them, then they don't feel like the only thing that you are doing is trying to sell them something. Right? Don't we all prefer to buy from people who we feel really care about us? Before you sell, think about this. Is selling doing something for somebody, or is selling doing something to somebody? When people try to hard sell us, they're trying to do something for themselves. But when they are there to serve us and to make sure that our product or service can actually help them, then they feel trust and rapport. And if you want to activate that part in people's brain, you have to get curious. You have to come from a place of, I am going to get to know this person, so that we have trust and rapport, so that I can discover this. Whenever I am selling, I'm asking myself a question. Can I help this person with my programs, my products, my services, my knowledge, or my skill? Can I really help this person? And if the answer is yes, I think I can help them, then it's my responsibility to show them how. Right? Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. So when I used to train my 1,200 salespeople, at one point in one of my businesses, Remax of Indiana, had 85 offices, 1,200 salespeople, and we used to sell $4.5 billion a year in real estate. I used to teach them, if you're going to get on the phone to speak to a prospect, if you're going to meet somebody to list their home, if you're going to show somebody a home, I said, If you're going out or you're calling and communicating with people, and in your mind and in your heart, you're thinking, I have to make a sale because I have to pay the mortgage, and you are focusing on you, here's what they're going to feel. They're going to feel that you're trying to do something to them for your gain and benefit. And here's a question I want to ask you. Are we communicating at more than just what comes out of my mouth, what comes out of your mouth? Have you ever just felt something is wrong, that it doesn't feel right? It's like you can't maybe put your finger on it, but you just know that there's something wrong. Somebody's trying to sell you, right? You know what I'm talking about? Well, what do you think it is that gives you that sense, right? Like something just doesn't feel right. Well, there's something in psychology called a double binding message. Pay close attention, okay? And Isabel, you hit the nail on the head. There's cues. Our brain is receiving light, sound, and obviously, tactile information, and it operates based on cues and reactions or responses. So whenever we get this cue that something is off, our fear center goes up. Our doubt, uncertainty center, the trigger, goes up, and it releases neurochemicals into your bloodstream that are the anxious neurochemicals. And when we feel that in a billionth of a second, we move away, we stop what it is that we're doing, right? So we may have been interested, but then we go, hold on, this isn't working. Just remember, your brain and your prospect's brain is a $100 billion organism that's finely tuned to create these signals of go or stop, go or stop, go or stop. And the things that make us feel safe and comfortable, that potentially has the reward that we want, we move forward towards. But the things that somebody says or does that may be incongruent with that, we retreat. Does this make sense? This is some advanced stuff to understand. So the first thing I want you to do is be curious to make sure that the person that you're talking to has an actual need for your product or your service, your knowledge or your skill. So if you find people, okay, that you can actually help, if you find people that you can actually help, and then you build trust and rapport with them, you find out the next step is, what are they experiencing right now? Like, what are their pains? What are their fears? What are their frustrations? What's irritating them right now? What are their wants? What are their needs? What are their goals? And then you determine, can my product or service, knowledge, skill, whatever it is that you're selling, offering to help somebody with, can my product or service really help this person? Does that make sense? So when we're talking about neuro-sales, it's you being smart enough and skilled enough to show up with your heart open to serve, okay, versus you trying to get something from somebody. Now, you may have your heart in the right place, but if you don't understand the syntax of how to activate the trust and rapport center in somebody's brain, if you don't know how to activate the reward center in somebody's brain, if you don't know how to deactivate the fear and uncertainty center in somebody's brain, which is working all the time as a protective mechanism, then you might be doing and saying things in the wrong order. Does that make sense? So you need to learn syntax, all right? So neuromarketing and neurosales is learning exactly how, all right, to be able to create whether it's messages on your website, your landing pages, whether it's opening communications in your one-on-one sessions with people. It's also being able to show people what the features are of your product or service. What are the benefits of your product or service? And then what are the benefits of those benefits now and in the future? Features, benefits, benefits of the benefits. That is a syntax arc of successful neuro-selling and neuromarketing. So if you prematurely ask somebody to buy something, they're not going to buy. But if you take your time to build trust and rapport, show value in advance, and then say, hey, I think I can help you. Let me explain to you about my product or service and how it will help you with your pain, your fear, your frustration, your irritation, your want, need, your aspiration, your goals, dreams, and aspirations. So, and then you go into, and the benefit of that is, does this make sense? Why do people buy drills? You don't buy a drill because you want a drill. You buy a drill because you want to be able to have a hole so that you can hang something on or bolt something onto a wall, right? You buy a drill not for the drill. Yes, you buy it for the features, but the real reason you buy a drill is so you can create holes or bolts things to a wall. And the reason you may want to create a hole is so you can hang a photo of maybe your grandchildren or a trip that you went on or something that makes you feel really, really good. So when people buy a drill, what are they really buying? Yes, they want to buy, a good drill at a good price. I got it. But they really want a drill, all right, for not its functionality as much as what it is that they're really, really, really wanting to do. So here's a question for you. Are you selling drills or are you selling the benefits of drills, of a drill, right? Which one are you, selling? So most small business owners do not understand selling and marketing enough to add an extra $5 or $10 or $20 or $30,000 a month, to their business. They are selling features instead of benefits and the benefits of the benefits, and they don't have a sales and marketing process in place that is scalable and predictable. All right, everyone, share this if you can on Instagram and on Facebook and YouTube. And thank you. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you back. Bye, everyone. Hey, this is John, and if you liked that video, watch the next video because it is packed with things that you can do right now to achieve success way faster than ever before.